Get ready for the action, because Nate Diaz is calling out Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland for faking the funk after their beef exploded at UFC 328. Diaz said they were faking it, acting crazy and hugging like puppets, and he is absolutely not playing around with any artificial beef.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we are diving deep into the financial turmoil shaking the combat sports world. A former WWE and WCW champion, Kevin Nash, is sounding the alarm, claiming the UFC is hemorrhaging money and suggesting drastic cuts to talent to stop the bleeding. We also have some exciting predictions for the future of the middleweight division. Ex-UFC champ Michael Bisping suggests that for Sean Strickland's next title defense, the most exciting matchup might be against Joe Pyfer in Philadelphia. And finally, we look at the ongoing drama surrounding Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. We break down what Nate Diaz wants from his upcoming fight and why he refuses to engage in any manufactured conflict, so stick around for the full story. Nate Diaz has firmly stated his intention to keep the upcoming bout with Mike Perry genuine, contrasting his approach with the perceived manufactured drama surrounding other high-profile matchups in the combat sports world. The two former UFC stars are set to face off at MVP MMA 1, which will be broadcast on Netflix and held at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, this Saturday. The event features familiar names, but the dynamic between Diaz and Perry is highlighted by their differing attitudes toward pre-fight narrative. Diaz emphasized that he is not interested in fabricating conflict with Perry, unlike the perceived fake beef seen in other promotions. Perry had previously inquired about strategies to generate more interest in his matchup with Diaz, referencing the intense pre-fight talk and alleged threats of violence between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland at UFC 328. Perry sought advice on how to build genuine heat for their own fight. Diaz responded directly, dismissing the manufactured tension. He characterized the pre-fight behavior of Chimaev and Strickland as faking the funk, describing their actions as fake F***seeking puppets who were performing for the audience. Diaz asserted that he prefers authenticity over artificial conflict. "I'm not gonna F***seeking play around and make no fake, artificial beef with you," Diaz stated. He praised Perry's perceived violence and intensity, stating he was prepared for a genuine confrontation. Diaz underscored his commitment to keeping things real, asserting that if the fight itself is compelling, he will watch regardless of the pre-fight antics. He concluded that he saw the war that was F***seeking ***ted to us, and felt he did not need to be deceived. Former WWE and WCW champion Kevin Nash has publicly voiced strong concerns regarding the financial health of the UFC, suggesting that the organization is experiencing significant financial distress, which he believes is driving recent changes in WWE. Speaking on the Click This podcast, Nash discussed the relationship between Paul Levesque, also known as Triple H, and the creative direction of WWE, linking perceived interference from TKO to creative compromises. Nash directly addressed the UFC's business model, stating, "UFC is hemorrhaging money, and WWE is. How about we tell the truth? If something happens and Triple H is no longer at the helm because there is some type of power play, I hope you follow my lead, because the minute they F***K with him, I'll have nothing to do with that product the rest of my life." He urged the UFC to address its financial bleeding by cutting talent rather than burdening Levesque with difficult decisions. The financial scrutiny of the UFC has also been highlighted in the context of fighter compensation. Jeremy Stevens, who was defeated by King Green at UFC 328, commented on the post-fight bonuses, expressing frustration over the current payout structure. Stevens noted that while bonuses have increased significantly, The current system feels corporate and outdated compared to previous eras, questioning why fighters are not receiving higher payouts, such as $500,000 bonuses, and reminiscing about the Dana duffel bag days. In related news, Nate Diaz has publicly criticized Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland for their involvement in the conflict surrounding UFC 328. Former UFC champion and commentator Michael Bisping has suggested a surprising opponent for reigning UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland's upcoming title defense. Bisping floated two potential matchups: Nassourdine Imavov, whom he considers the most deserving contender following Strickland's recent victory over Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 328, or Joe Pyfer, whom Bisping believes offers a more exciting spectacle. Bisping expressed his preference for an engaging fight, stating, "If you go with meritocracy, it should be Nassourdine Imavov, but you never know. Maybe they go with Joe Pyfer." He highlighted Pyfer's compelling recent performance, noting his 4-fight winning streak and his impressive stoppage of former champion Israel Adesanya in March. Bisping suggested that Pyfer appears to have addressed past issues, such as fatigue, in his career. Bisping specifically linked the potential bout to the upcoming UFC 330 event scheduled for August 15 in Philadelphia, where Pyfer fights locally. Joe Pyfer beating Israel Adesanya the way he did, being on a 4-fight winning streak. It looks like he fixed those wrinkles. I wouldn't complain if the next fight is Sean Strickland versus Joe Pyfer. Put it in Philadelphia, Bisping commented, speculating the fight could take place in September. While Imavov is seen as the rightful next contender, Bisping acknowledged that the matchup against Pyfer, given his entertaining style and recent achievements, presents a compelling option that the UFC could consider. UFC legend Nate Diaz has sharply criticized Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland following the highly contentious outcome of their bout at UFC 328, calling them faking the funk and fake puppets. The feud between the two middleweights reached a dramatic turning point at UFC 328, where Sean Strickland secured his first career defeat against Khamzat Chimaev. Despite months of escalating hostility, the two fighters reportedly maintained a cordial demeanor on fight night, contrasting sharply with the pre-fight insults exchanged at the press conference. Following the fight, Chimaev offered to settle the beef inside the cage. This development has fueled speculation among fans and pundits regarding the authenticity of the animosity between Chimaev and Strickland. Nate Diaz, a former UFC superstar, weighed in on the situation during an MVP face-to-face interview, expressing his frustration. Diaz stated, "They were faking the funk, and they were ing acting crazy and talking s** to each other, and then hugging and showing love like some b***. Fake ***ing puppets. I'm ***ing cool off that s***. I'm not going to play around, make some fake, artificial beef with Mike. I just think I'm going to get it done." Diaz further emphasized his resolve, declaring, "Not here for a sit-down powwow, none of that s***. I ain't bulls ***ing anybody, and they bulls ***ing us. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night Iwer was sitting there and bulls ***ing." The tension between Chimaev and Strickland is further complicated by the fact that Diaz and Chimaev were originally scheduled to fight at UFC 279, a bout that was ultimately reshaped due to Chimaev missing weight. Diaz recently secured a victory via submission against former interim UFC lightweight champion Tony Ferguson. The controversy surrounding the Chimaev-Strickland dynamic adds another layer of intrigue to the ongoing UFC narrative.